These Peaceful Warriors Martial Arts Teammate Online Academy classes are brought to you by the Miami Public Library, with support from the Oklahoma Department of Libraries, and the Institute of Museum and Library Services.
Me and my team got moves we made. We gonna apply that pressure you thought you was safe. Anything we do from now on is not for sure. Better lock the door, cause you know we go. Grind, get up and go get it. Grind, get up and go get it. Get up and go get it. Get up and go get it. Grind, get up and go get it.
Hello and welcome to Teammate Tricking. I'm Corey, this is Axel, and across the next series of videos we're going to be breaking down several techniques that are shown in this combination here. Now, when you look at this combination, it might appear a little bit daunting or difficult or even overwhelming. Let me tell you a little secret. Most of the coolest things you can learn in life are a little bit overwhelming at first and can seem really big, can seem really hard to learn. It might even seem impossible. But the biggest holdup on learning those things isn't how difficult they are, but rather how difficult it is to figure out where to start and how to break it down into these small pieces so that you can build up in easy, simple steps to reach your goal. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing across this series of videos. Each video is going to focus on a different technique in this combination and several variations of it. We're going to work on the fundamentals, and we're going to show you all the different drills that you need to do regularly and exercises you need to do regularly to be able to perform these techniques relatively easily with time. The other thing you're going to need is patience and the willingness to take your time to do it. If you run into a step on one of these techniques that seems kind of hard and the step is difficult to accomplish, then make sure you stop at that step and work on it every day for several days before moving on to the next step. That way your body's well and prepped for the next step in the process. So today we're going to be breaking down this technique right here, the Pop 180 Round Kick. I'm going to start with the first word when it comes to breaking it down. We've got to look at what are the fundamentals needed to accomplish this technique. Well, the first word is pop, and that refers to our takeoff, the type of takeoff. There's all kinds of takeoffs in tricking, cheat takeoffs, swing through takeoffs. What we're using here is a pop takeoff, which mostly means just popping by jumping off of both feet. So we're going to focus on good safe takeoffs and good safe landing practices to make sure that we're jumping straight up in the air and not drifting left or right. Because once we add our spin, we don't want to drift, or we could lose our place on the ground and lose our balance and not be able to catch ourselves on the way down. So let's start by turning sideways to the screen, just like this. The one thing you really want to remember when bending your knees to go for your jump is make sure that your head does not go over your toes. If you lean like this and jump, it's going to drag you forward. See how that moved me this way? We don't want that to happen. We want to be able to jump straight in the air. So I want to make sure we keep our shoulders straight up over our heels when we bend down. So turn sideways from the screen. I want you to bend just like that. And then when we actually jump, we're going to push all the way through our toes, keep our toes pointed at the ground, come back down on our toes on the balls of our feet, and then let our ankles work like springs to bring our heels down gently. All right, so we're going to try a couple. Bend the knees, back straight, push off through the toes, catch on the toes, and let your ankles work like a spring. Let's do another one, and boom. Good. Now, one more step to this jump to make it really important is the hands control the spin and the height of the jump as much as the legs do. So what we're going to do this time to make sure we're getting our jump straight up in the air is we're going to start with our hands down by our sides or pulled back slightly with that same bend. And when we push off through our heels, we're going to bring our hands up to our shoulders. You don't want to swing your arms straight because, again, that will pull you forward. You want to push your hands straight up to your shoulders, and that way it drags you higher. So we're going to bend down, hands back. Hands will come straight up to the shoulders as we jump. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Jump. Good. Come back down on the ball of your feet. You don't want your heel to land hard, or you don't want to land flat-footed because it puts so much pressure on your knees and ankles. That's why it's so important, no matter how good you get at jumping, to always go back and practice your fundamentals on your jumping. So let's do a few more. We're going to bend down, hands back, and up. Good. One more. Down, hands back, up. Good. Are you landing on the same spot you started? I sure hope so, because that is the prerequisite for moving on to the next step. Make sure we can jump and land on the same spot. Now for the next step, if we go back and look at our clip of the Pop 180 round, we might see that it's also necessary to be able to lift our knees when we jump. You see how the knees lift to be able to throw the leg out? So let's practice that. Now we're going to take that same jump we were just working on, but as soon as we come off the ground and point our toes down, we're going to try to lift our knees into our chest. You don't want your foot to go behind you like this. You want it to come up like this. Both knees with that same jump. Are we ready? Bend down, hands back. Jump, lift. There you go. Just see how we picked our knees up into our chest? You want to land back at the same place you started. Here we go again. Down, jump, lift. Good. Let's go one more. Down, jump, and lift those knees. All right, I like to call those frog jumps. It's really important to practice a lot of those when you get ready to do these kind of pop jumps. Those frog jumps are the setup for most pop jump techniques. Anything that comes off of both feet starts with practicing that. So if your goal one day is to do a backflip or several things like that, that's where it starts, right there. Learning how to do that and pick those knees up into your chest. Now, if we go back and look at our Pop 180 again, we know we've covered the jump. We've covered picking the knees up so we can get the leg to push out. And we also need to cover that spin. You see how it spins? So that's what we're going to work on next. Now for our spins, again, we're going to turn sideways to our screen, just like this. Now, from this point forward, your foot that's closest to the screen, that's what we're going to call your front side leg. The leg farthest away from the screen, that's going to be referred to as the back side leg. So for the Pop 180 round, our rotation needs to go front side, which means it needs to go towards your leg closest to the screen. It's basically like switching feet. Go ahead, switch feet. And then again, switching feet again, moving towards the front leg. Boom. So if you're doing it right, you should be able to keep your eye on the screen the entire time. Okay? Now, to get that spin added to the jump we were already practicing where we jump and pick our knees up, we don't want to use our legs to twist. If we do that, our ankles can get tangled up and it can cause real problems with how we drift in our technique. We want to jump straight up like we did a minute ago. So what controls the spin? The hands do. So instead of swinging our hands straight up, we're going to do the same jump we did a minute ago, but we're going to bring our hands to our front shoulder, just like this. So the hands will swing up tight to the front shoulder, pointed right at the screen, basically. The farther out your hands are, the more spin you're going to have. Now, we don't want much spin because we're only doing a 180. That's a half a circle. That means my chest goes from facing that way to facing that way. That's not very far. But we want to be sure to get our knees up and be able to control this to make it look like we're spinning slowly and floating. So here we go. We're going to bend down. This time we're going to swing the arms here. So we're going to turn so our chest faces the other way. And you should be able to watch the screen the entire time. And jump. Yeah, did you pick those knees up to the chest just like before? Now we're going to go back the other direction, front side towards the screen. Down and jump. There we go. Back the other way. And down. Jump. And one more. Down. Jump. Good. So now we've got our jump. We've got our knees tucked, and we've got our 180 spin. So now it's time to work on our round kick that we're actually going to add into that. Now, we're going to do this a little different from, say, a martial arts round kick. There's several different styles of round kicking in martial arts. We're going to use, this is tricking though, we're going to use a much more relaxed style of kick. So we're going to turn sideways to the screen. You're going to take your front side leg, the one closest to the screen, and you're going to pick your knee up out to the side, kind of make a little tabletop here. It's okay if it's straight. It's okay if your ankle's below your knee. Like I said, we're not being too particular about this round kick. It's a lazy kick. Just going to pick our knee up out to the side, put it down. Now I want you to pick your knee up, kick it out, bring it in, put it down. Up, out, in, down. And kick, nice and lazy. Kick. If you feel like you're kicking really hard or trying to kick hard, probably not doing it right. We want to kick real light, just gentle and lazy. Just flick the foot out. All right, now we're going to do our jump and switch feet. Ready? Crouch down, bend your arms. We're going to go towards our front side shoulder, pick our knees up to our chest just like before, and switch. Good. Now we're going to take the other leg, which is now front side, pointed at the screen. We're going to pick the knee up, boom, and put it back down. And knee up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up and down. And flick the foot out, boom. There you go, and go again, go. Flick the foot out, boom. There you go, and go. Boom, and go. Boom, and go. Boom, go. Boom, stop. Almost got it. Go. Boom, go. Boom. All right, now we're going to add that all into our jump to start building the muscle memory. So I'm going to start off facing this way. It doesn't really matter which way you start off facing, as long as you're sideways to the screen and you know that the leg closest to the screen is front side, meaning you're turning towards your screen. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do our 180 jump, land, and then that leg that's closest to the screen after the landing is going to throw the kick. We ready? So here we go. Ready? Jump, knees up, land, kick. There you go. Now we're going to go back the other way. Jump, knees up, half circle, land, kick. Going back the other way again. Boom, kick. Crouch down. Remember, don't lean forward. Keep that back straight. Up, tuck, land, kick. Very nice. Now it's time to move on to the very next step. Now for the next step, this is kind of the hardest step to cross of this technique. This is going to take the most effort. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to repeat the same front side 180 turn, but this time the leg that starts front side, we're going to try to only land on it with our other leg, the one that starts backside, already pulled up into the air, just like this. Right? So I'm going to jump and land on the leg that starts closest to the screen with the leg that started farthest from the screen lifted up like I'm going to use that round kick. Now, let's start that. Starting this way. Ready, Axel?
Yep.
All right, here we go. We crouch down. We're going to jump up, do our 180 turn, and go. Land on one leg and kick. And we're going to put that down in front of us, which makes it a front side ending. I'll show you the variation you see in the combination later, which is a backside ending. Now we're going to go back the other way. Since we've got our feet changed, we're going to crouch, we're going to jump, front side, tuck the knees, but we're only going to land on the leg that is starting out closest to the screen. The other leg is going to move closest to the screen with its knee up in the air. Ready? And boom. There you go. You want a big floating feeling while you're doing it. Here we go. Ready? Go back the other way. Boom. Keep your shoulders and head straight up and down. You don't want to lean back on this. Keep your head straight up and down. That's why we practice so many of these. So if you're finding yourself doing this part and landing off balance with your head tilted to the ground, then go back to just doing the turn and the kick for a while until you get used to being able to keep your head up. Right? So, a couple more of those. We're just going to land on the front side leg and go. Boom. I messed mine up. And back the other way. Boom. Kick and put it down. Nice. Now we can do the full pop 180 round with a front side ending. All we have to do to put it together is not stop when we hit the ground. So, show that once or twice. So now what we're going to do is go ahead, as we lift that leg up and come to land, we're going to go ahead and kick it out at the same time. And then put it down. Now let's do it on the other side. And boom, and put it down. Good. Now the other side. Boom, and put it down. Nice. Now it's time to add the variation to it. So this is going to be the follow-through variation like you saw in the longer combination at the beginning. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump front side again. You can go back to landing on both feet, then kicking, or you can continue with landing on the front side leg, then kicking, whichever level of this you're up to. Okay? Axel is going to do the one where he lands on one leg. I'm going to do the one where we land on both legs, just so you guys can see the difference. So we're going to start sideways here. Going to jump into the same kick, landing, and then when we throw the kick, we're going to put all the way through to finish the circle. So here we go. Boom, kick, and then pull it all the way back behind you, letting yourself spin on the ball of your foot. Don't put your weight on your heel. That'll cause your knee to bend backwards. It makes it difficult to hold balance. You end up kind of doing this thing. You want to be up on the ball of your foot so you can line up all your joints as you spin around, making it much easier to maintain your balance. So now we're on the other side. We're going to do it the other way. Are you ready? No, we got to switch sides. I got to switch sides. All right, so now we're going to pop, do the 180. Boom. We're going to throw that leg up, pull it through back behind us. There we go. And just like anything, if you have trouble doing it slow, don't try to do it faster. If having trouble doing it slow only magnifies the mistakes when you're doing it faster. Make sure that you can do it slow really, really well, and then when you do it faster, it looks more, impressive when all your details are in a line. So, now we're going to throw the whole thing together, trying to throw that kick out as we land, and pull the leg back behind us, full follow-through, pop 180 round, backside landing. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Remember, we're going to jump. Let's break this down again. We're going to jump up, bring our knees to our chest, swinging our arms to the front side so that we spin half a circle and end up landing facing the other way. We're going to land on the leg that starts in front, kick with the one that starts in back, and bring it all the way back behind us. Just as a quick recap. All right, here we go. Ready? And 1, Well, it was pretty cool, right? You should have ended up, after pulling your leg all the way through, you should have ended up in the same position you started. Now let's switch sides. Here we go, pop, up, kick through. Good. Now let's do one on the other side again. Pop up, kick through. Nice job. And that's your pop 180 round. Now, once you get this down, make sure to hit up the next video where we're going to be showing you the martello to add on to your pop 180 round. Till we see you guys again, remember, take your big goals, break them down into the tiniest steps so that you know exactly what to practice to get where you need to go. Be the best teammate you can be, and be the best at being you.